What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here. We are here at PAX Unplugged 2021, and I'm at the Beadle Grimm's booth. So I'm going to, we're going to talk about, if you just saw recently, I did an unboxing video of the Ravenloft box, but let's talk a little bit and meet the people behind Beadle Grimm. So why don't I go ahead and have you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm John Ciccolini. I'm one of the co-owners of Beadle Grimm's. I do a lot of the production work on the boxes, work with artists, work with wizards of the coast. So yeah, a lot of fun.
So if people don't know what Beadle Grimm's are, I mean, you guys have been around for 4 or 5 years at this point?
Yep.
So what should they know about Beadle Grimm's?
Yeah, so what we do is, let's say you want to run Descent into Avernus, or you want to run Curse of Strahd. Rather than just buy the book and run it out of the book, we'll create a collector's box version of it that allows you to better immerse your players into the world. So the box might come with battle maps, in-world handouts, jewelry pieces. It might come with a custom DM screen that's specifically for that adventure. So all the stuff that'll help you DM the campaign in a more efficient, time-saving manner, really.
And aside from just, so obviously we know you box sets, but there is, like I just mentioned, the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft box. I believe you guys are working on a Fizzbands box, so there's stuff for just, I don't want to call them generic, but other like resource books as well.
Yeah, so we do adventures, but we also do campaign settings. So for example, you could get the Golda version of Eberron. I love the Eberron campaign setting, and we do a box version of that. And like you said, we do Van Richten's, and Fizzbands' Treasury of Dragons is coming out, and we have a silver edition of that coming out. In addition, we're diving into Pathfinder for the first time. So Absalom is a book that Paizo is releasing, and we're going to do a gold edition of the Absalom campaign setting. That's a really, really cool city, and it's set up in such a way that you could run Absalom in a 5e campaign, in a Pathfinder campaign. I mean, it's very rules agnostic. It's kind of cool.
So you mentioned, we talked about gold edition. I know there's platinum editions, there's silver editions. For folks who might be completely unaware or wondering which color or which metal they should be looking for, can you explain the difference?
Yeah, so generally we do silver, gold, and platinum. Silver is usually in the $175 to $185 range. Gold is usually in that $250 range, and the platinum version is the very limited, really high-end $500 box of the release. Those generally usually sell out at about the time that we ship, but the silver and gold versions are usually around for a little bit longer. The platinum versions are, they'll come with a whole set of maybe WizKids minis, with a big, like a big map tube filled with battle maps. It'll come with other artifacts that you won't get in a silver edition. For example, not to be a big spoiler, but in Witchlight, one of the MacGuffins of the story is a unicorn horn. And so in the platinum box, you get that unicorn horn to hand to your players when they find it.
So that's really cool. So that's another thing. It's obviously maps, which if you've run a pre-written campaign, there's maps in the book, and you could maybe find them in a PDF or try to scan them and print them. Remove all of that craziness of figuring that out. You've got the maps. A lot of them double-sided. Even maps for things where even some original stuff in some of these other boxes as well. But I love the handouts. It's the tangible, physical things, whether it be a note that's all crumbled up and tea-stained and tied up, whether it's a unicorn horn. These kind of things I think help immerse the players, take it to a whole nother level that most people wouldn't be able to do on their own.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The in-world handouts are some of the funnest things to work on. The artists that we have are really creative. The fun thing about the handout is when you put a little twist in it, right? Like, for example, in the Avernus box, we had a primer on devils and demons, and within it, there was a little handwritten name in the margins, and it was tied to one of the bonus encounters.
Oh, very cool.
So if the players just happened to read, hey, what's this? It triggered the bonus encounter. So we like to put little like things that connect within, within the items that we do.
So if you had to, I know this might be a little difficult to do, but if you had to pick your favorite out of what you are planning to release or you've released so far, what would it be?
Oh, you're making me do Sophie's Choice. I can't do it. Part of me says, boy, you can never forget your first box,
sure, yeah.
right? So Waterdeep is always going to have a secret place in my heart. But then again, like the most recent is also super, super exciting to me. And right now, I'm right in the middle of launching the Tal'Dorei campaign setting for Critical Role. And we're right in the middle of designing the Absalom book. So I'm really immersed in that right now, and so that's where my head is at right now.
And another thing to point out, just in case people are unaware, you do get the book. It's a different, I'll call it an exploded version of the book, whereas when you buy a hardcover, you get, obviously everything inside it, but there's some things that are more for the DM's eyes that aren't for the players, and you guys have kind of separated things out into soft cover, so you can say, here's for the players, this is what I'll keep so you guys don't peek it.
Yeah, exactly. And as a DM, there's a lot of times when I'm going somewhere and I want to bring something to read, and I don't want the whole book, so I'll grab the chapter that I'm working on, slap it into my bag, I'll read that for a while, and then when I'm done with that, I'll have the appendices ready to, nearby. So just as a GM, a DM, I found that the split up books are just so much easier to work with than, taking the big book and holding it up and saying, blocking all the text and saying, you see a picture of this, that stuff drives me crazy.
Yeah, and to that point, I saw again in the Van Richten's one, there's art cards basically for every major villain, whether they're original to the Van Richten's for the bonus encounters in there, or just things you'll encounter normally, so you have that piece of art that you can hold standalone without having to do that, block out the text and stuff.
Yeah, we do that with almost all of the art in most books. We put it on a card that can hang on the DM screen, so that you can, as you're running an encounter, they can remember and see what they're dealing with.
All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to tell the folks about Beadle and Grimm's before we wrap this up?
We're at PAX U for the next 3 days. We check out our website at beadleandgrimms.com if you haven't checked us out before. And, we hope that you'll use our boxes in the future.
All right. Well, thank you very much, folks, and I will see you at the next interview.
Thanks.